Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
When we compare premium European cars, BMWs are generally the more driver-focused of the lot. But in the case of the previous generation X3, it was a bit of a dud, and that allowed the Q5 to be the more all-rounder. It was a fun-to-drive car. So when the new Q5 came out, we compared it against its class rivals. And then we had a surprise winner, the Volvo XC60. Good to look at, very well kitted, and surprisingly good to drive as well. But there is now a new BMW X3, and that could change everything. Does it? Let's find out. The new X3 may not look remarkable, and that is because of the various elements of the BMW's design theme that have become far too common across their range. Compare it in isolation to the X3 family tree though, and you will agree with me that BMW has finally made the X3 look handsome. The face has a more butt stance, and the enlarged grille, though polarizing, plays a big role to this effect. Look at the X3 from its side and rear three-quarters, and the leaner body and the chiseled lines will attract you further. The lighting elements look elegant and seem to find their roots in BMW's sportier model lines. I would have liked more vibrant color options in the palette if I was buying the X3. But that said, even in white, the X3 manages to look quite athletic, and that should work in its favor. Its German compatriot, the Audi Q5, suffers from the shortcomings of an evolutionary design. While the simplicity continues to work in its favor in certain markets, to me, this design theme seems too long in the tooth now. To its credit, it is a handsome design, and the sharp creases, flared arches, and the upright profiles for the front and rear give it more SUV-like proportions compared to its competitors, and there are many who are sold on that facet alone. But those looking for exclusivity and flair will easily fall for the Volvo XC60. Though it is the longest and the widest car of the trio, the marginally short height and the pinched window line give the XC60 proportions that tilt more towards a crossover body style than SUV. It has simple facial features and subtle lines, but the XC60's stylish and sophisticated lighting elements draw attention away from all the simplicity and give it a premium poise. BMW's cabins are a lesson for other car makers on how to make the cabins, how to make the dashboards more driver-centric. Look at the center console, it's nicely tilted towards the driver, all the controls are ergonomic, they fall easily at hand. The materials used, the way the display is laid out, everything just makes you feel like you're a part of the drivetrain when you are driving enthusiastically. And I think that makes a lot of difference towards contributing to that driving fun. Overall, this has the typical elements of a BMW cabin, but at the same time, it has enough to make it look like the next generation of the car. And that makes it look a lot more different, a lot more evolutionary as compared to the outgoing X3. And that is not only about the design, but also about the equipment. The leather upholstery, soft touch plastics, and polar grain wood elevate the premium feel of the cabin. The rear seats are roomy and comfortable on long distance journeys. The cabin of the Q5, typical Audi in its fit and finish, in the colors used, in the materials used, it's just perfect. It is very hard to find faults with. My only grudge with this cabin is the design, the layout. It just doesn't look novel. It doesn't look new when you compare it to the family of Volkswagen, Skoda and Audi cars that we've come to love over the years. It still feels or looks very much a part of it, which is a good thing for some, but for me, I would have liked something a little more exclusive, something a little more premium. Overall, I think, like I said, I like the overall fit and finish. I like the ergonomics. Every control falls easily at hand. My only little grudge again is you have a wireless charger, but it doesn't like the size of my phone. It just doesn't fit there. And when I close the center armrest, I can't see my phone. I think the BMW does a better job at that. This could have been better. Overall, like I said, impeccable fit and finish in the cabin. Nice and pleasant place to be in. The panoramic roof, like in the X3, offers a nice airy feel inside this cabin, and the bright colors used for the upholstery contribute to that further. The Q5 too has generously large seats, which adds to the overall comfort and has the best air conditioning performance in the class despite the large glass house. The cabin of the Volvo XC60 I think is the best in this comparison. It looks good, it looks very premium, it feels very premium. The kind of materials used, it's quite unique compared to the Q5 or the X3. Now the design, the layout may work for some, may not work for some. It could make a few people feel a little claustrophobic in here because everything nicely wraps around you. The dashboard is slightly higher, the colors used are quite dark, and that could make for a slightly more cozy feeling than you would like. I personally like it quite a bit, but despite having a panoramic roof, the cabin doesn't feel as airy as what you would feel in the Q5 or in the X3. But the fit and finish is just perfect. Like I said, it feels more premium, it feels like it's from a car a segment higher, and that certainly works in the XC60's favor. Like its exterior design, even the cabin of the XC60 has a premium edge over its rivals. Its fine attention to detail and longer list of features helps it score more points than the Germans. But we are focusing on the driving fun, and before we put power down to the road, let us acknowledge the safety technologies that these cars come with. Apart from traction control, anti-lock brakes, hill assist and airbags on all sides and corners, which are common on all the three cars, the XC60 trumps the X3 and the Q5 with radar-based technologies that assist the driver in evasive braking or steering maneuvers, in autonomously maintaining the lane, or by adopting the cruise control as per the behavior of the vehicles around.